Has Nissan been messing with us the whole time? If you're a Nissan Titan guy or gal, which I assume you are if you're watching this video, you're well aware now by this point that they announced 2024 as the last year of production for the Nissan Titan. That disappoints a lot of us, including myself. I have a 2021 Nissan Titan Pro 4X that I really love, and it's a shame to see one of the last great trucks, in my opinion, go away. Big 5.6 liter V8, cool shape, column shifter, nice seats, really capable truck for a decent price point. It's a shame that they're getting rid of it. Or are they? Now, there was rumors, speculation, if you will, that the Nissan Titan wasn't necessarily going away. Rather, it was going to be transitioned to an EV platform. A little bit disappointing to hear that. But, if they were going to keep the Nissan Titan badge around, I guess there's something to be said for that. There's also some rumors that they may be moving it to a twin-turbo 6-cylinder setup like the Q50 and Q60 has. Obviously, the 3-liter V6 twin-turbo. And I guess that sort of would have made sense in order to keep the Nissan Titan around, and it wouldn't be too far-fetched, as we know a lot of the major manufacturers are moving that route as well. I mean, we know the EcoBoost has been around for the F-150 and the Explorer for many years. Toyota transitioned to a turbo 6-cylinder for the Tundra. Again, just sort of following those trends, I could see Nissan doing the same thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the case until recently. Now, just a week or two ago, Nissan and Infiniti announced that the 2025 Infiniti QX80 will be released with a 3.5-liter, 6-cylinder twin-turbo engine capable, get this, 450 horsepower, 515 foot-pounds of torque. That is crazy. 8,500 pound, is it 85 or 8,800 pound towing capacity? That is just a few hundred pounds shy of what the Titan is rated for in terms of towing capacity, just over 9,000 pounds. You could pull a camper, you could pull a damn good sized camper with a QX80. Pretty sweet. As a Nissan Infiniti guy and a Q50, a former Q50 owner, I can't help but think about the possibilities of putting a 3.5 liter twin turbo 6-cylinder in a Q50 or Q60, making over 450 horsepower and 550 foot-pounds of torque, 515 foot-pounds of torque. That would be insane. I can't wait to see who the first Q50 guy will be. I don't think they'll do it, but maybe they would move this engine to the Q50 or maybe the Red Sport version of the Q50. I mean, be wild. I'm excited to see what people will eventually do with this. And I'm excited to see who gets their hands on a QX80 and starts tuning it and messing with it, adding some components to it and really see what kind of power they can pull out of it. That's exciting. But what really kind of gets me is, would it be crazy? Is it possible that Nissan will throw this twin-turbo 6-cylinder engine, which people had already kind of talked about being a potential or having potential for happening with the Titan? Would they move this engine to possibly a 2025 Nissan Titan, maybe a 2026 Nissan Titan? I mean, what's the reason that they're getting rid of it? Look at this QX80 though. I mean, Infiniti actually finally stepped up their game a little bit in terms of interior design. The digital dash is unbelievable. The interior, actually the interior styling and materials for all the trim levels is really impressive to me. It seems really high class, sophisticated, very sleek, really modern looking. The exterior, a lot of people don't like the QX80. I'm actually a big fan of it, but it has some kind of sleek, futuristic designs. The headlights in the front are kind of reminiscent of an electric vehicle, actually. The tail lights, the strip of the taillights around the rear is beautiful to me personally. I think they really did a great job with this. So I'm excited to see what Nissan and Infiniti finally starts to do as they move forward. It just seems like, coming from the Q50 platform, it was kind of disappointing, almost unbelievable to see no changes, almost literally no changes from 2015 to 2024. So if this is a sign of what's to come for Nissan and Infiniti, I'm actually excited for it. But it sort of gives me hope that there is a chance that the Nissan Titan may be brought back eventually. If it's not 2025, maybe 2026, I could totally see it. Look at what they're able to get out of it. I forgot to mention the fact that this 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 is going to be mated with a 9-speed automatic transmission. Again, the Titan already has the 9-speed automatic transmission. So it wouldn't, again, it's not that far-fetched to think that they might just swap the engines. You're going to get better fuel mileage, probably significantly, with the turbo 6-cylinder compared to the big old thirsty V8. Made it again with that 9-speed, shorter gear ratios, better acceleration, better fuel mileage. It sounds like it's possible. Again, I'm not really sure why they're moving away from it in the first place. People say they're not competitive or they don't have high sales numbers, but I really don't think they market the Titan. I think the Nissan Frontier is a really popular truck. But as far as price point, trim packages, capabilities, the Titan is right up there with the big three. I really truly think if more people got their hands on a Nissan Titan and they really kind of pushed this more, it would be one of the more popular trucks on the market. I just think, again, they sort of neglected it over the years. I know. They said they're not going to make the Titan anymore after 2024, but the fact that they're still developing engines, the fact that they're still moving in the direction of this twin turbo 6-cylinder with the 9-speed automatic transmission, which the Titan already has, and putting it in a big SUV that used to share the same engine as the Titan, the 5.6-liter V8, makes me wonder, maybe it's possible that they still have the Titan kind of somewhere in the back of their mind, especially considering the state of the EV world right now. Manufacturers are still running into a bunch of issues. Roadblocks. There's parking garages in South Carolina that I ran into personally that don't allow electric vehicles to park within them because they are too much of a liability for other people's property and the parking garage itself. I think in England, one of the major insurance companies is no longer offering auto insurance for electric vehicles. That's a big hit to the market. And again, the infrastructure is nowhere even in the realm of being able to support a massive transition to electric vehicles in the United States. It's just not there. They just haven't put the effort into it. This is a situation, I think, where they pushed a product, they pushed development of a product, and then they thought, well, once we do this, then we'll develop the demand, and it's just not there. In case in point, they are almost forcing people now at this point to buy electric vehicles, and because the sales portion didn't work, right? The marketing, the push toward it didn't work. It didn't get people on board. So it's a much slower transition than they had initially anticipated. And so I think a lot of manufacturers are kind of pulling in the reins a little bit. We're seeing some big names out there that were really, trying their hand at getting into this EV world, like Fisker, for example, whose stock is now a penny stock and they're headed toward bankruptcy. That's kind of sad. The major manufacturers like Chevy, Ford, Toyota, they're going to be able to weather the storm because they're huge and they have a ton of money backing it. So they can afford for a while to take a hit on these EVs and continue to push forward, while some of these smaller specialty vehicle manufacturers or some of these smaller like boutique brands that are pushing out electric cars, although they're doing some cool stuff, they just don't have the financial resources to continue on without making the sales that they had initially projected. So I don't mean to get off on a tangent here in terms of the electric vehicles, but that sort of plays into my feeling or my hope, my wonder if Nissan may eventually bring back the Titan. That is an internal combustion engine truck. Just because, that was one of the main arguments. They're transitioning to electrified vehicles, but if they don't see the sales there, that's just poor business. And you threaten the health of your company if you're not making proper decisions. So maybe they'll say, hey, you know what? We wanted to go to EVs. We maybe wanted, or we saw the Titan eventually going to an electric vehicle, becoming an electric vehicle. But now we decided to go back to what was working, and we made a more fuel efficient, more powerful, lighter engine for the Titan that's going to get us the same performance, in terms of towing capacity and reliability and off-road capabilities, whatever the case may be. We're going to put this back in the Titan, and that makes sense to me. I could see it happen. What do you guys think about that? Is that crazy? Is it far-fetched? Do you think the Titan totally is dead? Or do you think, based on the fact that they're making this new twin turbo 6-cylinder engine and then putting it in a QX80, which shared, the same powertrain as the Titan. Do you think that's a sign of something to come for the Titan, possibly? Maybe 2025, 2026? Let me know in the comments below. Appreciate your input, but came across this information, thought I would share it, thought I'd get your input. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Appreciate it very much. We'll see you on the next adventure.